Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, let me ask you something. What if our entire political system is just, well, obsolete? Today, we are digging into an incredibly provocative source document that argues exactly that. It's called Civilization 2.0, and it lays out a blueprint for using artificial intelligence to completely redesign politics as we know it. So yeah, let's get into it.
Right off the bat, this thing does not pull any punches. It opens with this incredibly strong statement, basically saying the system we all live in, the one built on campaigns, sound bites, and media performance, is broken. It's setting the stage for a pretty radical new way of thinking about how we choose our leaders and how we hold them accountable.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with what this new political arena even is and the leadership crisis it's supposed to solve. Then we'll get into the two big parts of the solution, the AI-augmented citizen and a new path for earning the right to lead. And finally, we'll see how it all clicks together in a system of governance and its final, bold declaration for the future.
So the core idea, the one everything else is built on, is this concept the document calls post-campaign governance. And yeah, it's a massive shift from everything we're used to.
So what does that actually mean in plain English? Well, it's the idea of shifting politics away from being a kind of performance art, where the best fundraiser or the most charismatic speaker wins. Instead, the idea is that AI becomes a partner, and it's crucial to note, a partner, not a ruler, for both the public and for leaders, making sure that everything is based on actual facts, data, and stuff you can verify.
Now, before you can build a new system, you got to make a strong case for why the old one is broken. And this document really zeroes in on what it sees as a fundamental crisis of leadership.
And here is the diagnosis at the heart of it all. The source points out that right now, people can get elected to the highest offices in the land without ever proving they know the first thing about law or the economy or, how to actually govern. Power is won in media battles based on charm and charisma, and it can be totally disconnected from actual competence.
And you can really see the contrast they're drawing here. On one side, you have the current system, which they argue is all about media battles, slogans, big money, and can end up rewarding incompetence. What they're proposing is a complete flip, a system based on actual merit, a history of proven service, and constant, ongoing benchmarks to measure performance.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. The proposed solution doesn't actually start with the leaders. It starts by rethinking the role of the citizen, by empowering individuals in a whole new way.
This is where the whole thing becomes less of an abstract idea and more about, you. The document basically asks, in this new age of AI, what could a truly informed citizen actually do? How could technology help you participate in a way that's deeper and more meaningful than just casting a vote every few years?
The vision here is to give every citizen a seriously powerful toolkit. Just imagine having your own personal AI that helps you cut through the jargon and actually understand a 1,000-page law, or being able to run a simulation on a new tax policy to see how it would likely affect your community. The goal is to create a public that challenges politicians with data-backed ideas, not just gut feelings.
And to back this all up, the proposal includes this idea of a dynamic citizen profile score. Now, I know what that sounds like, but the document claims it's not about judging people. It's about recognizing and encouraging real civic engagement, whether that's contributing to policy debates or just demonstrating you've done your homework. It's about fostering a more prepared population.
Okay, so you've got this new empowered citizenry. The next logical step is to blow up the whole system of how someone gets to be a leader in the first place. This is what the document calls the superuser protocol.
And this is the absolute core of it. This is a complete break from tradition. You can forget the fundraising, the attack ads, the whole circus. In this proposed system, you don't buy your way into a campaign, and you don't win it with popularity. You earn it through a really tough, verifiable process.
So, how do you earn it? Well, it looks something like this. It's a gauntlet. You'd have to pass rigorous AI-proctored exams on law and governance. You'd be thrown into complex simulations where you have to tackle, say, an economic crisis or a natural disaster. And your entire track record, your performance, it's all audited by AI and open for everyone to see.
And because of that process, the way you vet a candidate completely changes. Instead of judging them on their talking points, the system would value things you can actually measure. Things like their proven competence score, their verified ethical record, and how well they actually did in those high-stakes problem-solving simulations.
So you've got your empowered citizens, you've got your proven leaders. What does the actual act of governing look like? This brings us to the next big concept, governance as a living ledger.
This quote basically says it all. It's about radical, inescapable transparency. The idea is to create a system where there's literally nowhere to hide. Every decision, every promise, every outcome, it's all tracked and linked together in a public record.
And here's what that might actually look like. Just picture a public dashboard that anyone can access. You could look up a promise made during the selection process, see exactly what actions were taken, then look at an impartial AI audit of the result, and see a public score on whether it worked. It basically turns governing into an open book.
To wrap all this up, the document doesn't end with a rigid plan. It ends with what it calls a declaration. Think of it less as a final law and more like the founding principles or the source code for a new political operating system. The first declaration is crystal clear. Power isn't a gift you get for winning a popularity contest. It's something you earn through proven ability. The second one builds right on top of that. Your influence should come from a real track record of getting things done for the public, not just from being a good talker.
And if you boil this whole ambitious proposal down to just one number, it's this: 0. The stated goal is zero tolerance for incompetence when it comes to positions of public trust. And finally, the document ends on this note of humility. It's acknowledging that this vision isn't about creating some perfect overnight utopia. It's a call to start a process, to use the tools we have now, to try and evolve past our old problems. And that leaves us with the big, profound question, doesn't it? Is this a blueprint for the next logical step for democracy in the age of AI? A way to get more competent, more accountable government? Or is it a dangerous fantasy, one that puts way too much faith in technology and could have consequences we can't even predict? That's the real question at the heart of Civilization 2.0. Thanks for watching The Explainer.